say this appropriately.
Let me take two. Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to do a little trash cleanup here at our campsite and talk about Leave No Trace. Now, I am at Betty Jean State Park, which is a Leave No Trace partner. In fact, all of the parks here in Arkansas are. And I think it's really great because they advocate for leaving no trace. But what is Leave No Trace? Now this right here is a quick and simple way to leave no trace. They have these available at various Leave No Trace stops. This is just a sticker that you can put on your camping supplies that you can remember to go through all the steps to make sure you are taking care of the world around you. But what do each one of these mean? Okay, Riley, how familiar are you with Leave No Trace?
Pretty familiar.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about each one of these 7 principles, and I want you to tell me what it means to you.
Oh, there's 7? Okay.
There's 7. So the first one is plan ahead and prepare. What do you think that means?
Planning ahead, like being aware of what trash you have, bringing, Ziploc bags, trash bags, just being aware of like what you carry on you, like if you're cooking or whatever, like how much trash you're gonna make. Is that correct?
So now I'm going to ask Dee, and then we'll talk about what each one of these actually mean. See, I put him on the spot this morning.
I did the exact same thing.
Plan ahead. Make sure you have the appropriate ways to store and dispose of your own waste and bring out what you bring in.
What about travel and camp on durable surfaces?
You would not want to go into areas that you are driving or treading over wildlife that is being conserved in some way or preserved. So you want to make sure that you are on the appropriate surfaces for whatever you're doing.
Durable surfaces? Oh yeah. Make sure you're not gonna sink down, right? And that you're not gonna leave no trace. Make sure you're not gonna leave a big crater, I guess.
So number 3 is dispose of waste properly. What do you think that one means?
That one I know, I think. How do we say this appropriately? Dispose of your bio waste properly? Is that it?
That would mean to have a way to pack it out. So whether that is your biological waste or your waste from packaging or food, you need to have something to be able to dispose of it properly or bring it out with you or look for areas where you can dispose of them.
Okay, Riley, what about leaving what you find?
Oh, when you leave a campsite, make sure you do not disturb nature. Leave it how you found it.
That would be don't take anything out that is not supposed to go out. You're supposed to enjoy nature, take a picture, take a video, but do not bring it with you because those things are meant for others to enjoy as well.
Now this is one I know you have spoken about on your channel. What about minimizing campfire impacts?
There you go. Well, you can take it to the extreme. If you have made a campfire area with rocks or stones, you want to leave it as if you were never there. There are some areas where it's appropriate to just leave the fire ring, or you find a fire ring already there. In that case, you just want to make sure that everything is doused out and dispersed so that it won't cause any harm to the environment.
Oh yeah, don't cause a big old forest fire. So double check burn ban in the area. When you're building a fire, make sure you put rocks and build a fire ring, and then because you're leaving no trace, typically it also means if you're in an area where you shouldn't disturb anything, put the rocks back, right?
What does respect wildlife mean to you?
Do not touch wildlife.
Yeah, don't be silly and try to approach wildlife. If you see something and you want to take a picture or video, go ahead, but don't approach it. Don't feed animals anything. Don't try to have them approach you in any way, and let them do their thing.
Okay, this is the last one. What about being considerate of others?
Allow people their privacy allow people to enjoy what you're enjoying with the same respect of quiet and engagement. So if they are wanting to talk, fine to talk, but if they seem like they're just there to enjoy nature, let them be and let them enjoy themselves.
Do not disturb other visitors. Do not blast loud music. Do not shine bright lights. Observe quiet hours for generators. Do not have a loud barking dog.
Don't be like Tyson. Both Dee and Riley basically hit the nail on the head in different ways. The nice thing about Leave No Trace is there's a lot of different levels to this, and based on what kind of travel that you're doing, it may affect you a little bit different. Common decency is one of the biggest things about Leave No Trace. And whenever I was at my mountain house retreat last year, they gave us these little Leave No Trace books, which are actually available through Leave No Trace and tell you a little bit more about each of the steps and how you can make an impact. One of the biggest things that we can do when we're recreating is to respect the nature around us. And by doing that, that means leaving it better than we found it. Picking up after ourselves, not blasting loud music, not going off trail, parking on places that allow us to park as opposed to tearing up the environment or creating an impact. Like Dee mentioned, there are protected places. And I don't know how many places that I've been to that have asked you to please park in certain areas and then people still pull off. That's a big no-no, guys. We have to be nice to the world around us so that we can still have these places, but also so the animals and the nature around us can still exist in these spaces. So I want to share a few more pieces of Leave No Trace with you all. As you flip through this book, you'll notice that there are topics such as this that allow you to deep dive into the Leave No Trace principles, including considering avoiding times or locations that have higher use, because the damage and impact is much higher for those areas based on the amount of people that are there. Planning your meals ahead of time can even be something that helps you leave no trace, believe it or not. Now, when it comes to respecting wildlife, yes, we're not supposed to go near them and we're supposed to obey the rules of distance. And I think that that's one of the things that a lot of people lose the concept of when they see an animal in the wild for the first time. It can be really exciting when you go to like Yellowstone and you see bison roaming through the fields, or whenever you see a bear from a distance. But there are signs all around parks that have wildlife telling you about the safe distance, and it's our responsibility to not only learn that distance, but also to observe that distance. But there are other things that we're supposed to do while hiking and camping in areas that aren't so bear friendly that are part of Leave No Trace. Believe it or not, using bear boxes, learning to tie up your food into trees, and then also using bear canisters is still part of Leave No Trace. You might be surprised once you start diving into the principles as to how much they actually include and how much that you can learn about just being a better person in nature, and how this could actually spare you having some really weird situations in your existence. Now, I think that leaving no trace is something that most of the time people just say pack in, pack out. But there's so much more to it, and I encourage you guys to go through and learn a little bit more about each of these steps. And if you're interested, I will tackle each step in a separate video so we can deep dive. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested. So today, since we're going to be picking up trash, I have some gloves here. So each of us are going to use a glove for our pickup hand, and we'll have a bag that we can dispose of our trash in. So Riley, here's your glove.
Sweet.
And then we're also going to be using a regular Walmart bag that we can pick up our trash in to see how much that we find at just our campsite today. Okay, I'm currently in search, and I already see something shining over here. I don't know, that may just be discoloration of leaves there. Now when there's leaf coverage, it's harder sometimes to see the damaging pieces, but once you find them, it's just absolutely gross to see that people have trashed nature like this. So like here's one, plastic. It's a little wrapper to some kid's thing. I don't know what it is, but it's gross. When you're looking, look up, look down. This was in a tree. This does not belong here. Now the way that I do this is I scan from side to side and I look for anything shiny, but then I also look a little bit deeper just to see if anything does not fit in the environment. Normally, that means it's trash. So as we're going, oop, here's one. Just right over here, a little piece of plastic from somebody's purchase, probably at Walmart. Dee mentioned she found glass and I just found some more. Couple little pieces here. And a lot of people like to run around, especially during the summer months, with flip-flops. This could cut their feet and then they could get infected. These two were left here also. Right here, oh, this one's buried. Okay, we're gonna have to work on this one a little bit. This is a can that's gotten crushed into the ground. On the way back, I found this. Okay, cool. Okay, here we are. Let's see if we can get this out. It's in here pretty good. It looks like it's kind of been covered up and buried. So we're gonna have to uncover it to get it out. Oh, this is stuck in there. I may have to get a stick or something. I'll dig this out and then I'll fill back in the hole because we don't want to trip in the hole. But it's an entire can that's just under the ground because somebody ran it over. It's in there though, it's in there still. I can do this.
Oh, it's deep in there.
Okay, if I can just get to this edge, we can get it.
Oh, it's deep in there.
This is why we gotta be better, guys.
Honestly, kind of looks like a soda or a beer can.
Ooh, there we go. Okay.
That's gross.
It is some kind of smashed can. Don't know. But it has something calories on it, so I'm assuming it is not a beer can. Oh, it is. It's a light something.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, either way, it doesn't need to be here. So I'm gonna fill this in, make it leave no trace like it wasn't ever there, and make the world a bit better. Okay, so we combed our campsite pretty well. We're still working on it. I've got to take this over to the bag, and then we're gonna look to see what we found just in this like 10 minutes of looking. It doesn't take long to do this, guys, and it's actually kind of fun. We were talking about how it's like a little treasure hunt. You could just see what you find, and this is all stuff that no longer has to be in the environment. Now, this is just one campsite at this massive campsite, but if everybody did this when they pulled into their campsites, can you imagine how much better places would be? Okay, grimy hands, wearing gloves, nice and safe. But check this out, guys. This entire bag was just from our campsite alone. And this is, again, a campsite that's pretty well maintained in comparison to some of the places we've been. Now, there are a few leaves that snuck into the mix and stuff like that, but they're attached to various pieces of trash, so we can let the leaves back into the environment. But look at this. You can see here there's some melted plastic, there's some cans, there's some candy wrappers, just basic camping items like the little twine. There's some really gross stuff in here. There's that koozie. This was all from like 10 minutes of us picking up things. And again, it's kind of like a little treasure hunt though. I mean, look at all of our trash treasures that we found that we can now take and dispose of properly. And better leave no trace. So we'll take our gloves and add them to this. And then, guess what, guys? We have been good stewards of the land today. Okay, guys, was that hard?
No.
Was it kind of fun?
Yeah.
It was actually very fun. I love treasure hunts.
Could you imagine if we were to do a large section and each of us had a bag and made it into a competition? Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
That would actually be really fun.
So maybe in the future, that's what we'll do, a trash competition to see who can do the best trash pickup. I think that'd be kind of fun and a great way to leave no trace. So guys, you don't have to do the most to make the place that you're at a better place. It doesn't take a lot. All you have to do is have one Walmart bag, a little glove, and just a little bit of time, and you can make an impact. Now, I appreciate that Mountain House and Leave No Trace brought this to my attention in such an easy, comprehensive way, and I want to share this with you every single time I get the opportunity. If you're interested in finding out more about the other principles, we can talk about those. Again, leave that comment. But if you have 20 minutes on Tuesdays, I'm encouraging you guys to take that time and pick up trash for just 20 minutes. See how much of an impact you can have no matter where you are, not just at campsites, but in your local communities also. Just go take a nature walk and pick up things around you. See if your yard has anything that's blown in from the highway or from the roadways beside you, and just send those pictures over to the Instagram Trash Tuesday. And if you do send those photos, I'll post them, and then we can all support this effort to leave no trace together and encourage one another. I appreciate you guys for coming along for this and always encouraging others. And remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and that means we can leave no trace and have an even better one. Till next time guys, bye!